all it took was a quick tap of the microphone. That was awesome. Great job, guys. Welcome, everybody, to our 2023 Spring Sports Awards ceremony. Before we get started, let's just have a quick word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you've blessed us with. We thank you for this past spring season, for these athletes and these coaches. We thank you for the success that you blessed them with, for the effort and determination and drive that you put in them. We thank you for all their efforts. We thank you for the time and dedication that the coaches and the parents put in as well. And Lord, that the trophies we see up here today are just evidence on proof of the blessings that you've given to these athletes. Their skills and all their talents are from you. And Lord, as we recognize these athletes today, we pray, Lord, that we would just remember that everything we do, everything we've done this past season is for your honor and for your glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Again, everybody, welcome this morning. We have quite a few teams to recognize today. We have our middle school flag football, our middle school girls soccer, varsity girls soccer, middle school and varsity baseball, as well as our varsity softball team. The spring season is always here and gone really quickly. This season was no different. However, we saw a lot of success in all teams this year. We introduced or got back a varsity softball team in the first time in a while. They were in the MIL, the Mid-Atlantic Independent League. Group of girls did a really good job. Faced some hardships early on, found their groove. I'm not going to go into depth of any of the teams. I'll leave that for the coaches. But out of our 4 MACSAC teams, we had 3 finish as a #1 seed leading into the tournaments. So very impressive showing for our MACSAC teams. And as you can see from our trophies up here, we made it to the championship game in all four sports: our middle school varsity and soccer, and our middle school soccer and baseball. Sorry. So we're going to start things off today with our middle school flag football, Coach Newnaber and Coach Cross. So if our flag football players can come on up.
Come on, boys, hustle up, let's go. Just kidding. Good morning, everybody. Just want to congratulate all the boys and girls behind us for a hard-fought season. They definitely improved as only the second year we've had this program, so it's still kind of new to Hartford Christian School, and we're growing in that. Before I go on to the players, just want to thank Coach Welsh and Coach Sherrill, Coach Cross for all their efforts. Coach Welsh for his football knowledge that we all definitely needed and his help with coming up with the plays. Coach Sherrill for his enthusiasm, his creativity. Coach Cross, we all know him well for his leadership and his experience. We all need that. And then there's me, so I guess I get stuck talking to you. But anyways, we thank you, boys and girls, for a hard-fought season. For one of the teams that Coach Sherrill and I had, we don't want to really dwell on the win-loss record, but there was definitely marked improvements throughout the season. You guys continue to fight hard, a lot of long touchdown runs. I think about Mia streaking down the field, right, those long touchdown runs. Rachel diving for flags, Max catching touchdown passes, a one-handed catch from Daniel, and many other good plays. I do just from every snap, every run, every touchdown pass. It was just really fun to watch. And for the other team, I guess the most exciting part of that was of course after we played ourselves. We had 2 teams in the playoffs, played each other in the playoffs. So one of us had to advance to the semifinals. For the team that did advance, it was really cool to see you guys come together. We were missing a couple players because of the baseball championship that day, and you guys really outplayed yourselves, missing a couple key players, and were able to beat Grace in the semifinal game. So it was just really neat to see that upset there, and then you held your own with with Rosedale and wound up finishing second place, which was a great improvement from what we did last year. And just want to give you thanks and congratulate you. Great season, everybody.
All right, good morning. At this time, I would like to invite the middle school girls soccer team to come join me up front. All right, so while they're making their way up front, I want to take a moment to thank a few people that made this season possible. So bear with me, it's definitely a few people. With this being my first year coaching HCS middle school soccer, I want to thank Jonathan Peters for meeting with me preseason to help me prepare. Shout out to my wife Meredith, who assisted me in communicating with the parents and players in the beginning before we found an assistant coach. Colin and Anne-Marie, without you, we'd have nobody to play or refs for every game. And I think most of the coaches here would agree we're blessed to have athletic fields on our campus. So thank you to Roger, Tyler, Timmy, Connor, and anyone else who had a part in keeping our soccer fields well maintained throughout the season. Big shout out and thanks to our team managers who are up here in the corner, Caitlin Candilis and Elena Klein for being our biggest cheerleaders, official ball girls, and flag retrievers. Thank you. I'm almost done. Thank you for the parents for sacrificing your time to cheer on our team and providing unpaid Uber rides for your daughter to and from games and practices. And thank you in particular to Karina Poland, who for running the concession stand during home games this season. And lastly, I want to give a big thank you to Coach Klein for being my assistant throughout the season. At first I said if they can't find an assistant coach, I'll be fine. After the first practice, I realized I didn't know what I was talking about, and I could not have done it without you. So the team and I appreciate your sacrificing your time and to bring your knowledge and your calming presence to the field. Again, thank you for everything you did for this team this season. All right. So the problem with thanking so many people is I'm sure I forgot somebody, so I'm just going to say thank you, and I'll probably remember you as soon as I leave the podium. Now let's shift our focus to the summary of the season. All right. I will say this once and get it out of the way. Yes, we played hard, but we fell a little short in the championship game on Tuesday. All right. That one game does not define our season. There's so much more to be proud of. We had 4 goals for the season that are listed in the orders of importance. Number 1, honor God by the way we act and play throughout the season. Number 2 was to have fun. Number 3 was to end up first place in the conference. And number 4 was to win a championship. I think we did well accomplishing 3 of those 4 goals. Coach Klein and I want to recognize what was the biggest highlight of the season. Goal number 1, Colossians 3:23, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men. The team fought hard every game, but always played with integrity. They honored God through the way they cheered each other on. They respected their competition. If a player got knocked down, they were there to extend a hand to help their opponent up. They did not retaliate if an opponent was playing unfair. We could not be prouder of how this team conducted themselves this season. Congratulations on that. Next, having fun. I think the team would agree that we checked that box off for having fun. All right. We enjoyed many laughs and jokes throughout the season. One highlight that stands out in particular is Jordan's attempt to tell a joke, only to start laughing hysterically halfway through and unable to compose herself. Jordan, I think we're still waiting on the punchline. So, finally, let's get into the highlights of the successful season. We only had 5 starters returning from last season. Coach Klein and I had to fill 6 starter positions and multiple slots for subs. This left us with a lot of unknown. These players worked hard and were dedicated to developing their talent. Some showed flexibility and were asked to fill positions they've never played before. Now, we often received a frightened look on their face when I asked them to do that, but they stepped up to help their team in ways they thought they couldn't. When the team was set and the first game resulted in a 10-0 win, we knew this team was something special. We completed our season overall record of 13-3-1. They went an impressive 10-0 in the conference to secure first place for the playoffs. Ellie led the team with 32 goals this season. I'm going to take the coach's hat off for a second and say, proud dad moment. Where are you? I think her face is red. I embarrassed her. Good. All right. Right behind her, though, still just as impressive, Layla Poland was right behind her with 29 goals for the season. Now, it may appear this way, but it was by far not a two-person offense. There were another 30 goals scored in addition to their contributions. Other key goal scorers on our team were Maddie, Layla Birkenoff, Irma, Elise, Sydney, Cassidy, Sarah, Amaya, and Naomi. If you did not hear their names called, it was only because they primarily played defense or goalie. We had a dynamic offense that our opponents could not contain. Equally as impressive was our defensive line. After 2 years of playing offense, we threw Sydney a curveball and put her back on defense. She quickly adapted and became our leader in the backfield. Backing Sydney up in the backfield and making their presence known were 3 of our first-year 6th graders to the team, Amy, Amaya, and Tenley. It will be great to see all of them back next year. Lastly was our goalie situation. We didn't have one. 2 of our 6th graders, Claire and Riley, stepped up to take that task on. They shared time in goal throughout the season, made a combined 92 saves with 28 goals against. Those are great numbers for being new to the position. We're excited to have them for 2 more years on the team. Whether it's scoring goals, making great saves, or attempting to tell a joke, every player contributed to the fun and successful season. It was an honor to coach such a great group of players. Lastly, quickly want to recognize our 8th graders, Layla Poland, Irma Hentz, Taylor Reed, Layla Birkenoff, and Maddie Klein for their contributions to the season. We'll miss you next year and wish you luck on varsity. To everyone else, Coach Klein and I hope to see you next year. We still have a championship to win. Thank you.
Varsity Soccer, you can come on up. And our assistant coach, Abby Coombs, will get you your certificate or your letter. This was one of the most challenging years I've ever had as a coach in terms of recruiting. I guess I'm not as popular as I thought I was. High school all over again. It was very difficult to put a team together in terms of numbers, and there were days there were only 4 people at practice. Despite all that, we still had a good season. We finished with a record of 6-3-2, and we outscored our opponents 64-27. Highlights from our season include tying a very strong Perry Hall Christian team 3-3 on a day where they had 21 shots on goal to our 4. We still tied them. Another highlight would be our strong 12-2 MaxAC semifinal win against Carroll just the other week. I'd like to thank Mr. Campanella and Mrs. May for their work with scheduling, which is especially difficult during a very busy spring at Hartford Christian, and especially so for varsity girls soccer, since the public schools around here play in the fall. Also like to thank my assistant coach, Abby Coombs, for everything she did for the team this year, both in practices and games, and for Elliot Cox as well, who served as our manager and statistician. I'd also like to thank Coach Candelas. As I already said, we were very short on numbers this year, which meant we frequently had to dip down to middle school, which I know was a disruption to their season, but I appreciate his flexibility there. Next, I'd like to thank the players this year. Good, they're up here, the 7th and 8th graders. I'll go class by class, but I'll group the 7th and 8th graders together. There were 6 of them that played for the varsity team this year at various points in the season. And there were games this year that we couldn't have had to put a team together without them. And they made meaningful contributions to our season. They weren't just another body out on the field. They were making meaningful contributions out there. Collectively, the 7th and 8th graders accounted for 6 goals, 8 assists, and 1,632 minutes played, which means on average that there were 2 7th or 8th graders on the field playing for varsity at any given moment. And that's definitely going to pay dividends for our team in years to come. And there's the freshmen. We had 5 freshmen on the team this year, and all of them started every game at which they were present. Ariel and Camilla were named second team all-conference. Overall, they were a strong class, which bodes very well for our future as well. And I'd like to recognize one freshman whose faithfulness at practice, her play in the games, and overall positivity significantly contributed to the success of our team this year. This year's Rookie of the Year goes to Ariel Nelson. Next, we have 4 sophomores. They were a strong group overall, and even as underclassmen, they've developed a sense of leadership on this team, which is something I appreciate. Haley Kane was named to the MACSAC First Team All-Conference. Audrey Aldifer was named to the All-Tournament team, and Chloe Brooks was named to the Second Team All-Conference and the All-Tournament team. I'd like to recognize one of those sophomores in particular who led our team in assists and was a constant workhorse for us in the midfield. She was also a leader at practices and at games, and this year's Midfielder of the Year goes to Chloe Brooks. Then we have our juniors. I'm not sure if we have any juniors here today, but our juniors accounted for 45% of our goals this year, and that's pretty impressive considering Phoebe Williams is the only junior. So after a 30-goal season this year, she has 71 in her career, and that's pretty impressive for a junior. And she was named first team all-conference and to the all-tournament team as well. And finally, our 2 seniors on our team. First, we have Ella Holbrook. Although Ella's season was cut short with a knee injury, she still finished with enough playing time to earn a varsity letter for the 2nd straight season. She was a fantastic teammate, and we will miss her on next year's team. Our other senior is Sophia Maniatis, who couldn't be here today because she's currently she's currently taking her driver's test. Sorry about that. Sorry, typo. Sophia served as a captain for much of our season, and she was our only consistent starter on defense for all 11 games. She led our team in playing time, which is a testament to her dependability, consistency, and importance to our team. So even though she's not here today, we'll recognize Sophia Maniatis as our Defensive Player of the Year. We'll give her a round of applause. So with a strong 2nd place finish in MACSAC, a strong returning team coming back next year, I hope, and a strong group of 8th graders moving up to varsity, there is a high bar set for the team next year. This was definitely a team that I enjoyed coaching, and thank you all for a very good season.
If I could have boys middle school baseball up here at this time. We started our season on a pretty bad note, losing our first 2 games by a combined score of 24-4. So I thought we might be in for a pretty rough ride, but turns out we were able to go unbeaten in our next 5 games, going 2-0-1 in the conference to secure us a number 1 seed. Our final regular season game, we played Toma again, and we ended up losing 12-2. So not the end we would have wanted, but I had confidence in this group going into the playoffs that we could get the job done. In our first round against Arlington, don't remember the score, but I know we beat them pretty well, so good job, guys. And then championship, just some highlights. We had Grant Kunzbeck, who pitched 5 innings on the mound. think he only gave up 3 runs, if I can remember. And he also hit a home run over the fence, which is the first time that's happened in Hartford Christian baseball in quite a while. So good job, Grant. Michael Clancy did a great job behind the plate for us, caught all 7 innings. I don't think anyone stole a base on that game. Travis Soler came in to pitch the final 2 innings of 2-run baseball. So he was a great closer for us that game, and really just proud. Unfortunately, they don't let me get out any middle school awards, or else I'd have some awards for you guys. But great work this year. To my 8th graders, Travis, Kyle, Sam, there's one more, isn't there? Spencer. I knew there was one. To you 4, good luck next year on varsity. I know you guys can all succeed at the varsity level. For you returners, let's make it 3 in a row and max that, all right? So this is the first time we went back-to-back middle school champions in almost 10 years. So I'm really looking forward to this group of upcoming 7th and 6th graders and one 5th grader who's not here. But we have a chance to three-peat, and I'd love to see it happen. So great season, guys. Thank you.
If I could have the 2023 varsity Hartford Christian softball team come up at this time, please. How's that feel, girls? Varsity. So this is a different looking, as they're coming up, this is a different looking season for us. The past 3 years, we played a rec league, not varsity, not considered a varsity team, but the girls really wanted it. And we worked hard and got into the MIL. So for the first time in a long time, we were a varsity team. And the girls really stepped up to the challenge. It was different because after 6 years, oh, thank you, Kyle. My assistant coach, my coaching staff is not with me today, Rob Boucher and Julia Smith. I stepped down as the head coach of the softball team this year for the after 6 years of being head coach of the team, I handed the reins over to my daughter, Julia Smith, who is a HCS alum and former softball player. She did a fantastic job. She sends her love and appreciation to you guys, and she says she's very proud of you guys and all that you accomplished this season. I've coached a majority of the team for a very long time. There's 6 of them I think I've coached since 9-10 in North Hartford, and they never cease to amaze me. When you give them an opportunity, when you challenge them, they always step up to it. And this season was really no different. They just continued to top themselves over and over again during the season. I'm not one for stats. I'm not one for wins and losses. The heart of this team is their grit and their desire to play ball and the desire to do it well and with a great attitude. So I appreciate that. We ended the season 3-3, which is the best record that we've had, and I think the best record an HCS softball team has had in a very long time. So great job to you all for stepping up and getting it done. And we would have been better if FCA didn't bring their ringer pitcher in. So next year we're going to take care of that, right? Yeah, so we won't get into that, but two more wins are on the table there. I'm going to go through our awards. I would love to have one of these for every person. It was very hard for us as a coaching staff to pick out people to give these to because everybody contributed in their own way, and without any one person, we would have been a much different team. Our mantra is what, girls? Play our team strong. And that's what they do. They play as a team. So sorry. I'm an emotional guy, sorry. When we're missing one, it changes the construct of our team. So, I don't think we ever played with I think maybe we played two games this season with a full strength team. It was to their credit for them changing positions. I think Lily and Kat and Paige, and there was just changing positions and playing out of position game after game. The resilience was just phenomenal. And then before we get into the awards, I just want to shout out to Paige. We lost our ace pitcher due to illness for the last 3 games. And she is a great pitcher, but she doesn't necessarily like to do it. And if you know softball, if you have a good pitcher, that's your team. So the pressure of being a pitcher is phenomenal in fast pitch softball. And she did it without complaining, and she stepped up to the plate and pitched our last 3 games for us. And so I appreciate her and all she did for us and enable us to finish the season. So thank you for that. Our most improved player award this year goes to KB, and that's what I call her, Kate Boucher. But that's funny, we have 2 Kates on our team, and I call neither of them Kate. But KB, and I can say, again, I could say this for all of our players. We had a team last year of girls that played softball, but this year we have a team of softball players. And there's a big difference between those 2 things if you know the game of softball. But KB has shown marked improvement. She was an outfielder last year, and this year we asked her to come and fill in Caitlin Kennedy's role at first base, and just picked up on it instantly and made massive strides at the plate. She is now our leadoff hitter, probably one of our most consistent bats. So congratulations, KB. Thank you for all you do for the team, and I can't wait to see what you do next year. So thank you, KB. The next one goes to Kat, our other Kate. This is our Unsung Hero Award. Softball really isn't a sport she wants to play, and if she's going to be honest with everybody. But she loves the game, and she loves the girls, and she plays anyway. And she does anything you ask her to do, and she does it without complaining. We moved her all over the infield this year, from second to short to third. And every time I asked her to move, she did it with a smile on her face and a thumbs up, right? And a thumbs up, and she got the job done. So in the background, she's probably one of the more quiet ones on the team, but she does whatever we ask her to do, and she does it well. So thank you, Kat, for your attitude and getting things done. Is Sam here? Oh, she's out sick. Okay. Sam is a stabilizing force on our team. She's been playing softball for a very long time, and she's very good at it. She knows the game really well. I think the coaches owe her a lot because she coaches on the field. She coaches during practice. So when she sees something that we need to improve on, she's in the game. She plays the game a lot, so she knows how to communicate as a player to them, and she's really a player coach. And we couldn't do this without her expertise on the field. So I appreciate Sam, and for that she's getting our Coaches Award for the year. The spirit of our team, the leader of our team, the emotion of our team is Ella Ollinger. Ella has come late to the softball scene. I don't think she ever really played much softball before coming to HCS, but she is a fantastic softball player, and it comes easily to her. But what comes more easily to her is being a leader. And she does that for us in practices. She runs the beginning of our practices. Coach Jules and I know that we can get stuff ready because Ella's got the team for running and stretching and calisthenics and dynamics and all that. So we can rely on the fact that Ella's got things in hand. And the girls look to her for their energy and the cheerful and uplifting spirits she brings to the team. So thank you, Ella, for all that you do for us. The last award we're going to give out is our MVP, and this one shocked me a little bit. Not because of who she is, but because of how quickly she picked up this game in such a short time. She is a fantastic athlete, and she was a good player of softball. But this year, I saw a switch change in her, and she can do anything in the game right now, and it's kind of amazing to me. So this year, our MVP award goes to Lily Richardson. I saw her do things in the game this season that veterans of the game that have been playing their entire life do. And I know she's been playing for a while, but this year, for some reason, it just clicked. And she's a fantastic outfielder, but we also found out this year that she can play shortstop pretty well, too. So there's really nothing that she can't do in the game. And at the plate, outfielders beware, because you're going to be running backwards a lot of power. She just plays the game with passion and with enthusiasm and dedication, and it shows, especially this year, as she played the game. Again, I'm so proud to be their coach. I'm so proud to watch them grow. No seniors this year, so we bring everybody back again next year, and we added 3 players this year. We added Allie, Anna, and Sammy. I don't see Sammy here. Oh, yeah, there she is. She's hiding in the middle. They are learning at the heels of the varsity softball team. We had to throw Anna into action a couple of games, and she did well. But we're excited to see their improvement and their growth. They're the future of this team. But next year, watch out, league, because I don't expect to lose a game next year with this squad. So congratulations, girls. Excellent job this season. Thank you.
Coaches, 2, please. Got one more coming. Come on, Coach Rose. You're not the old man. First, I want to start off by thanking my coaching staff, Coach Rose, Coach Andy, Coach Trevor. Couldn't have done it without you guys. I appreciate everything you guys did this year. And I'd like to thank our varsity baseball team. They've accomplished a couple things this year that haven't been done in a long time. We finished the season 10-5. It's been a long time since we had a varsity baseball team finish with 10 wins. I'm very proud of their accomplishments, and just a note, for those of you who don't know, and you probably don't, baseball and a lot of sports are followed by something called Max Preps, which follows all the teams in the state, both public and private. And they rank the teams all against each other, whether you're a private school, public school, no matter what you are. And we ended up for the Baltimore metro area at the end of the season. That includes over 200 high schools. It's like 220 or something like that. It's the whole Baltimore metro area. Our team finished ranked 83rd in the state. And that sounds low, but that is quite an accomplishment, because we've never had a team finish that high, ranking in Max Preps. They started really getting recognized by the state, the people that run the leagues, and the things that are happening. We stepped up this year and played 3 public schools, beating 2 of them. Very proud of that. We're trying to get more into that, step up our competition. As you can see, we had 18 players this year, actually 19 players this year, and it's very proud to see the program growing. Congratulations to the middle school and everything they did. Looking forward to the 8th graders who are going to be coming up next year. Want to keep growing, keep everything going, and make sure that these guys stay the powerhouse in the future that they are. I've got 4 awards for the varsity players. First is our Defensive Player of the Year. He really kept our defense solidified, ran things on the field. I only had to reel him back in 4 or 5 times. Our Defensive Player of the Year is Marshall Rose. Our Offensive Player of the Year really set the tone at the top with his bat, his base running, and his baseball knowledge. He's been playing for a long time, plays on different travel teams and rec teams, and just loves the sport. It's been awesome to coach him. Our Offensive Player of the Year is Micah Johnson. Our next award is one that we haven't given out in a few years. It's our Most Improved Player. I could have called it our Unsung Hero, but I felt it was Most Improved because from last year to this year, this young man has gone above and beyond, not just on the field, off the field, helping with things, putting stuff away, making sure stuff was done, and just being an all-around good guy. This year's Most Improved Player is Luke. And our last award is our MVP. I wish I could give it to everybody. This young man has exemplified just leadership, caring, knowledge, text messages back and forth with me, making sure things were going on and that I didn't forget anything. He's going to be a great player in the future, and he's going to be a great young man. And our MVP is Ben Kunzbeck. A brief note also about our season. Along with the 10 wins, we finished 10-5. We had a really good season. We ended up the MACSAC regular season championship. Our school hasn't won that in, I think, 6 years since Trevor's junior. Well, you weren't even here, you junior. A while ago. So I was really proud of these guys. They stepped up. They beat some teams that they didn't think they were going to. They hung their heads high. And the thing that I'm most proud is the way they played and stayed together as young men. They never let the situation get away from them. They always acted respectfully, held their heads high no matter how the other team was acting or what was going on. They showed true class throughout the year with the ups and the downs. I was extremely proud to coach this team. This is my last year. I have retired from baseball. Proud to coach these guys. Thank you.
let's give one more round of applause to all the athletes and the coaches. Thank you, parents. Thank you, players. Thank you, coaches, for all you've done this season. We wouldn't have the sports program we have here at Hartford without you guys. So we appreciate it. We look forward to a great year next year, all sports. Until then, all right, thank you guys. Have a great day.
Your son played baseball this year.
Yes.
Thank you for learning what you guys.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
we had a great time.
Yeah, wonderful.
And you won. Okay. I saw you at that last game then.
Yeah.
And